Okay, we're live. Just right there. And you can walk around anywhere right here.
Okay. We ready?
Yes, we're ready. We're live.
So I'm going to start out here. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Jessica Cook, and I'm an attorney with Foundation Title and Escrow. So we're located here in Johnson City in the Peerless Center. And so two things I want to tell you about us real quick. A lot of people I've found out don't know that we are actually licensed to issue title insurance in Tennessee and Virginia. And even though I'm not a licensed attorney in Virginia, I can issue title insurance. I have a Virginia attorney I work closely with. And we have a place in Bristol where we actually will do closings for some of our Bristol agents, or we have Bristol properties there. So keep that in mind about us. The second thing is that we are partnered with Homes for Heroes. And so that's something that's very near and dear to our hearts. If you have a home buyer and they are a police officer, veteran, doctor, nurse, teacher, firefighter, or somehow falls into those categories, we will give them a $150 check at closing as a thank you for their service to our community, our country, whatever it may be. So today I have with me Miss Dana Parkinson, and so you have a duo today because I wanted to bring her in because she has some really cool products that she offers that I think that you guys, specifically this group, would be really interested to hear about. I feel like it's one of the best programs in the area that a lot of people don't know about. And the reason we're here together is that if you work with her, you gotta work with me. First Community Bank requires an attorney to do all of their title work and closings, and we have closed, we were trying to think earlier how many loans. A lot of loans over the last 3 years together. So we have streamlined processes in place, procedures, our teams work together really well. We work together really well, obviously, and we get you to the closing table. So I'm going to give it to Dana now so she can tell you a little more about her investment products.
Thank you. So each of you have a packet, and I put some examples in here so when we get to the actual program that Jessica's referring to, we can kind of look at it with real numbers. But I am Dana with First Community Bank, and our headquarters is actually in Rogersville. I'm located in Kingsport, so we're a small community bank of 5 branches. We can go up to 325 miles from this area. So from Rogersville, that's 325 miles. From Kingsport, that's 325 miles. So as long as my person or the property is in that 325-mile radius, I can do the loan. As the institutions are, we have the deposits, the checking, and the savings, and then we also have loan products. I myself do have my MLS number, so I can close mortgages for home buyers. That is not what I do a lot of, but I do have the capability of doing that. And then we also do land loans, construction loans, mortgage loans, the casual investor loans, and then the commercial loans. All right, so on page 2 of your packet, there's a picture of me, and it says Casual Investor, and that is the program that I'm here to talk about. So what is really unique about our Casual Investor program is we built a program for someone who is just starting in investing. So they may have one property, they may not have any properties. But the point is to get somebody who wants residual income a start. So the unique thing about our product is it's almost mirrored exactly like a mortgage. So today, if you had a client who had great credit, and that would be 720 and up, their rate would be 3.50 for 15 years fixed. Let me say that again. 3.50 for 15 years fixed on an investment product. So that's huge. So why we built this program is it's little money in, the rate is really good, and it gives that person the opportunity to start building that investment program and have the residual income for their family. So if we look at the sheet that has my picture on it, it says purchase or refinance rental or investment property. So I do have people who come to me who already have investment property that don't have great rates on it and say, I want to take advantage of 3.50 now. So they'll come back and refinance what they have with me. I can do that. Of course, we can do a purchase. The 1 to 4 single family means 1 to 4 family. It can be a condo, it can be a duplex, it can be a triplex, or it could be a small apartment complex. And if someone didn't have any rental property and they found a 6-door apartment complex, that would work. If you already have 1 or 2, we have to count that in your total. So when I say rental properties, we count doors, not facilities. So if you have a duplex, we're going to count that as 2, not 1. So we're really clear on we're talking about doors and not facilities. We do the 15/30, so we have a maturity date at 15 years, but we amortize the product up to 30. So that gives your cash flow a much better advantage, because when you have that payment that's stretched over 30 years, the payment's not as high. We also require 15% in, and let me restate that again, it's an investment product, but we only require 15% down plus your closing cost. The origination fee is 1% of the loan amount, and then everything else is a cost to you. We don't upcharge anything, and we don't have a bunch of different documentation type fees. We get 1%, and then everything else is a cost to you. We do escrow, so we do the escrow for the taxes and the insurance, so that you don't have to worry about that. We take care of those payments for you. The only facility that we will not take in this product is a manufactured home. We do want a stick-built property. Does anyone have any questions before I go on? All right. And then, as Jessica said, this product right here, and the key part of First Community Bank is we do not sell any of our loans. They're all within our bank portfolio. So that is the reason why we require an attorney to be on staff. We have a lot of great title companies in this area, but if they do not have an actual attorney on staff, it is not a group of people that I can work with. So Jessica, who is with Foundation, is the one that if every project I have I can get to Foundation, that's exactly what I try to do. All right, so let's go to this first little page that says Casual Investor. And what I did was I just took an example of very simple numbers to show you what it would look like and why I think this program is very important. So if you have a contract price of $100,000, 15% in is going to be how much money? Make sure everybody's like, and we're on the same page. Okay, so your loan amount would be $85,000. So if you have best credit, what would your interest rate be?
3.5.
All right. So I estimated closing costs to be about $4,500. That's give or take, but that would give a good idea. So coming to closing, you're going to be right under $20,000 in this project. I did a loan payment and it came up to $382. Escrow, of course, that's an estimate number there as well, as $200. So a total payment is $582. So let's say you get $950 for that project. So that means $368 is going in your pocket. Of course, you don't pay taxes on that number, but $368 is going in your pocket. So if you were to times that by 12, that's $4,400. If you could do that up to 6 stores over time, it's $26,000 a year in residual income, plus your building equity in that project to hopefully one day have it paid off, so that all of that rental property money is going into your pocket. So when you look at it in real numbers, the reason why we do 6 stores and we do it with the 30-year amortization is the cash flow going into your pocket is much greater, which gets you to the next project. Then you've got 2 properties going, which gets you into the 3rd project, and so on. And I have people ask me, okay, if I get to my 6th door and I have used your program up, what am I now? Well, we call you an investor. We got you to the place that you wanted to be, and now you are a real estate investor. Can I do a 7th project? Absolutely. You just get commercial terms that aren't as sweet as the Cash Investor program.
What are your commercial terms?
520, 5-year amortization, or 20-year amortization on the 5-year maturity. And rates are usually prime plus 1, somewhere in that vicinity. Maybe not exactly, but that's just kind of a good key to go by. All right. So I will tell you a short story that's kind of funny and unique to me. So when I came on board, Casual Investor was part of our program, and I started in our networking group, which is how I met Jessica. And I was telling her about this Casual Investor product, and at the time, I didn't even know how valuable it was. I was new to lending, and I was trying to get my name out there, and so I was talking about this product. Well, we had a couple of people in our group that knew what I offered better than I did. So they started helping me out. They started getting my name out there, and so now I hold the most Casual Investor products in our portfolio. In the meantime, I had someone who needed to buy a property, and it was a great property. It was just a little outdated. We need to do something to it. So we have commercial customers that come to us that want to rehab a property. It doesn't fit exactly what they need, so they need to fix it. So I learned what we did on commercial loans. So I had a customer that came up, and I said, absolutely, we can rehab your house, not a problem. I need to know what your budget is. So I took the budget, put it together. We got an appraisal as complete. And we did it like a line of credit. The first part was where they drew money, and I did inspections along with them, or had an inspector go, depending on the size of the project. And we got to the end of it. It turned out into the Casual Investor program. And I had about 6 going before the bank came to me and said, we don't really know what you're doing, but we don't have a product to match what you're doing. But apparently there's a niche. So that was where casual investor rehab was developed. So what we do is we have a one-time closing and a two-part note. So the first part of the note is interest only plus escrow while you are fixing your property up to be the way you want it to look like. And then at a point where you get the, you got it leased out and you got income is when your payment starts. So let's just say it takes 3 months to rehab your property. We build you in a 4th month to find a tenant, and then we go back to PMI, or to your principal payment plus your escrow. We go back to a regular payment. So how that works, if you look at the casual investor rehab, the paper that's got the 2 boxes on there. So the first line says we have a contract of $100,000. We've got our 15% down, which still happens even on investor product. You have your rehab budget of $30,000. So my loan amount can be up to $115,000, as long as if I get an appraisal as complete, I can stay at 85% loan to value. So in this case, our appraisal came back at $150,000. If you do 85% of that, it's $127,500. Your loan amount was $115,000. So when you do the numbers, your loan to value is 77%. I can fund up to 100% of that $30,000 budget. Everybody? So let me say that again. If I can keep the project at 85%, I can fund up to 100% of your budget. So if you go over to the next one, what happens if the appraisal does not come in? So the appraisal came in at $132,000. This is where you have to make a decision, or your client does, and say, okay, if I do this, my budget's $30,000, that means I'm gonna have to put in $2,800, but then I fund the rest of the budget. Is this project worth it or not? Customer has to decide. Typically what I do on this project is get the appraisal in first before we go and order legal, so we don't stack cost. So when you have a project that works, I can do 100%. When you have a project that almost works, then the customer just has to put in that difference, because I have to stay at 85%. So that's a lot of information really quick about the casual investor rehab. So does anyone have any questions about how it works? I tried to do numbers to make it on paper so that it was easier to see than just me talking about it. Good?
How are y'all calculating the rehab budgets? Or do you want quotes from contractors, or how do you?
It depends. If it is a civil project, like if you're gonna paint and say the HVAC is gonna have to be replaced, we can do a quote on you can do a quote and then what you're gonna do on the inside and put it together. We don't require a contractor to go in and do the rehab because a lot of it's cosmetic.
Right.
We do ask if you're doing something that has to do with electrical or has to do with plumbing that you get a licensed professional to do those. But we allow you the opportunity to find the quotes and to create the budget of what you're gonna put into the property and then turn that in. So when we go get the appraisal, we do both. We will get in a value on the property as it is and then what it's gonna look like when you're done.
Okay.
So there's 2 caveats to this. If the whole project stays under 25% on the budget, then it's you and me. I can go take pictures of the property, I can take invoices, I can take receipts from Lowe's, Home Depot, as you're buying stuff. If it goes over 25%, you're probably doing something more, adding a bathroom, changing, redoing major stuff. And I'm a banker, I'm not a contractor. So at 25% or greater, then we want someone who is in that profession to go in and make sure that the project is being done and go along the way with inspections. So there's a little bit more cost in that, but it's still able to get you into a good sound property and spend not your money but the bank's money to get the project to look like what you want. So I talk really fast, I do know that. You can't see me over here because I'm not tall enough to reach past the monitor. But if any of you have questions about this product right here, to me is huge. I think it's a great product for our area. I think the bank has presented it well. Like I said, I think I have 4.5 million casual investor properties in our portfolio out of 9, so I have half of it.
I'm on my second.
So I will let Jessica tell you her experience of what she did, if you would like to share that with us.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a great product. That's why I wanted to bring her in with me today because, like I said, you all are investment minded, and I thought that you really have a great value in hearing from her today. But yes, I'm on my second one. It's been such an easy process because if we have any questions, anything comes up, just call Dana. I mean, literally, she's the banker that's on the phone with you anytime you have questions, and you're not calling here, there, and everywhere. I have to pull another attorney from another foundation office to do my title work. I don't do my own. But we process. They keep their loans in-house, so we're not dealing with, you know, a lot of other, sources, but, yeah, we're on number 2, and we're gonna keep going through the whole program. So, but yeah, everything that she's talked about is invaluable. My husband, his law partner, have also taken advantage of the rehab, part of the program as well, so it's a good one.
And so for your customer, if you come to me and you say, okay, my buyer wants to do this program, what am I gonna give them? I'm gonna give them an application just like a mortgage and let them fill out all the boxes that intimidate people. And then they're gonna have to give me a proof of income, which is what you do on any loan. The next good thing about First Community Bank is I'm in the Kingsport office. Our underwriting staff is on the 3rd floor, I'm on the 1st floor. So if it is W-2 income, easy for me to underwrite, it doesn't take that long. If they do have scheduled income that comes to their tax return, it depends on how much and how many layers we're talking about. If it's simple, I can still usually underwrite myself. If it gets into multiples, then I have to go upstairs and get underwriting to help me. The key to what makes my life much easier is I'm in the same building as them, and I don't go wait till I get my signatures. Which sometimes they don't like me for it, but I usually try to get what I need so I can get out of their way and go back and help a client get them an approval so that we can start moving forward. We also have a management company for our appraisals. So on typical 1 to 4 family, we talk about 2 weeks. If you get into a commercial property, which the apartments do, it's up to 4 weeks. And then we usually, if everything is going, if we're not concerned about a rehab budget, I can usually go ahead and order legal and get those 2 going at the same time. If we do have a rehab budget and we want to see what the appraisal comes in, so we're not stacking costs, then we'll do that first, make sure everybody's on the same page and then get legal done. Does anyone have any questions? Does this sound beneficial?
Very.
Has anybody heard of anything like this? I'm just curious, in the market,
No.
because I haven't. But you all are obviously out there more than I am, so I was just curious.
Not for beginner investors.
Yeah, right, I
Yeah,
think
not
that's
really
what's
set
so
up like
cool
that.
about it.
So that's why we call it casual.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, all this stuff kind of made a little more sense to me on that end.
And then, you know, like I said, once your portfolio is built, it doesn't mean you have to stop banking with me, it just means it's just different terms. Same process, just different terms. Which is kind of funny because you could buy property as a casual investor and pay off your 5th property or 6th property sooner than you pay off this one because of the amortization being 20 years. And I have customers that don't want a 30-year amortization. So if you want a casual investor in a 15-year loan with a 15-year maturity, we absolutely can do that. You're not tied to, you have to be on a 30-year amortization. You have the opportunity to have up to 30 years.
Do you have any products that don't balloon for investors?
Everything we do is something. And it's part of it is we like to revisit our properties and our projects just to make sure they're still in good standing, they're being taken care of. So a couple other keynotes, other things that I do to help out. There's 2 projects that I talk about most when I'm talking to real estate agents. Mortgages, secondary market all day long. But in the case that you get to someone, and this is one example I use a lot, if you have a young buyer and like say a parent or grandparent is gonna help them be on the loan, sometimes secondary market doesn't want that person that doesn't bring value to the table in that transaction. Our bank doesn't have a problem with that. If we can underwrite both, or even if the young person has little income, we still will put both on the project. So we will give that young buyer the opportunity to build credit. So we don't exclude you because of. Another one is if you have a property that you go in and there's a house in the front, and let's say on the side there's a garage apartment and that apartment is being rented. From what I understand, sometimes secondary market doesn't want that extra property that has income producing. They like a single property. That's what we call mixed use. We can do that as well.
So that wouldn't be possible with this, or it would?
Not with this. That would be like if someone's buying a home, but they had a mortgage, but there was a garage apartment on there, and there was income coming out of that, but this was their primary. Sometimes secondary market has a struggle with 2 properties on 1 tax card. We don't. We just call it mixed use. So if you have a scenario that doesn't quite fit secondary market requirements or rules, we all have regulation that we have to follow, but everybody has their own criteria. And that is where I come into an advantage of that we keep our loans in-house. So sometimes we're able to do other things for your customers that others can't. So that's a lot of information in a very short amount of time, but does anybody have any questions at all? All right, so Somebody tell me how many doors do we allow?
6.
Who said 6 first?
Me. I was first.
Okay, I have one item that's not fun and one that is.
Give Joey the not fun one.
I have a cube of paper and I have a cup. So who wants what?
Who was the other
Joey
person?
needs to keep a paper because he doesn't drink coffee.
I want the.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Take care of anything.
You don't like the
Jeez.
beer, so you can have the paper.
She'll need the paper. I don't. My Gatorade to go in this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's for cold stuff too.
I have business cards up here as well. You have the rack cards. Our rack cards are generic, so I did take my card to the back of it. I do ask that if you are talking to someone, the form that has my picture on it, if you see at the bottom it is for realtor only, that you keep this and you don't hand this out. If you are not in our email list, we do have emails that we send out to realtors as we update rates. We don't change rates daily. We change them once a month. It's not a daily thing. So we do try to send out to our realtors if we have changed our rates. So if I don't have, if you're not receiving emails from the bank and you would like to, give me your business card and I'll add you on our list. We are also on Facebook and we're also on Instagram. So if you would like us, that would be great because we share things as we add to them. Thank you so much for allowing me to share.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming.